Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. Yesterday we started with Günaydin, Juventini of the world, referring to the Turkish language, but especially Galatasaray, interested in a lot of players that are not part of Juve's project anymore. Today I wanted to start with Bonjour, Juventini du monde, referring to the French language, to La France. And this time not for French clubs interested in Juve players, but this time Juve interested in French players, in Ligue 1 players. And that's what we will talk about in today's video. Give me a minute because unfortunately I had to change my intro. We can't start speaking about Milik, we will. We can't start speaking about Milinkovic-Savic or Parisi, nearly a done deal, we will. But we have to start speaking about off-the-field topics. Guys, we have to go back. Calcio e Finanza made me change my intro today. And that's really important for all the Juventini that are following the channel, but especially the Juventini that for more than 1 year has been heard from anti-Juve people on social media, but also in real life, telling them your club is a cheating club. Juventus is always cheating. Juventus this, Juventus this. Why? Because they are influenced and brainwashed by the big titles. You know that today you don't take the time anymore to enter these articles, to read, to inform yourself. Especially not when it's not even your favorite club. Well, today I clicked on the article of Calcio e Finanza, and what do you read there? Important. Juventus did not have any concrete financial or tax advantage from this operation, referring to the Plusvalenza, but also referring to what I was telling you. The Plusvalenza, the profit cases, generated only 3.6% of the financial books. Ragazzi, I always told you that there was something not logic in that Plusvalenza, at least not for what they were accusing us for, to generate profit. And thanks to that profit, going and do Mercato. First of all, because if you are looking at the Mercato that we did, it was not really a fantastic one, honestly. Secondly, because it has no impact. And today, it's not Beppe that has a Juve channel. It's not Beppe that is working for Juve that is telling you that, but Calcio e Finanza. You will not read it in Gazzetta dello Sport in big bold titles, but at least you have an evidence. And it's not over, because they continue to tell you, from Agnelli to Paratici, but also Arrivabene and so on, the accusations of non-existing invoices for the former Juve leaders has been dropped. You know that we were accused of creating non-existing invoices or even manipulated, changing, faking invoices. People told you, hey, you see, we have the evidence. Look at the invoice with Marseille for Ake. You, with the handwriting, you change it. Well, no, the accusation officially has been dropped. And all these leaders, Agnelli and so on, are not guilty anymore for that specific topic. Is it over? Will Juventus receive back the 10 points? Will we go to Champions League? No, because we found the plea deal. And of course, it's not only that Juventus was accused for. We have more things to take care of. But at least a lot of that, according to me, a card castle, step by step, is collapsing. Especially if the next following point that I will tell you will also be dropped in the future, because they are speaking, or at least there is a request for archiving for the next following points. The company's major on salary maneuver. There were some people that were representing the club as majors, and these people, they were saying we were not aware of whatever. Well, these accusations are asked to be archived, but also the side letters that they spoke so much about, and also Cristiano Ronaldo. You remember that secret paper that was worth 90 million euro in favor of Ronaldo? Well, all these accusations has been asked to be archived. Ragazzi, 4 minutes of intro, not speaking really about Mercato, but important for you Juventini, and I know it's not sexy, but at least you know. Guys, before speaking about all the names that we will speak about today, and I can guarantee you it will be a nice video, long but nice video, let me say thank you, because 5 days ago I asked you to start putting at least 500 likes per video, and we are just achieving it. The 4 last videos that you see here with the thumbnails, 1, 2, 3, 4, they all went over the 500 likes. Today we can do history, 5 in a row with 500 likes. So put a maximum of likes if you want to. If you didn't yet, subscribe to the channel, because we start with Tutto Sport. Colpi Juve, Milik è fatta, Parisi quasi. Colpi Juve, Milik è fatta. What does that mean? It is a done deal. while I'm speaking, I'm sure that Juventus will tweet the announcement. Milik is a Juve player. And I tell you, I'm happy. I think it's great. Why? Because if I am looking and if I am challenging you with a big question, can you find me a better player, a superior player than Arkadiusz Milik for the same money, and we are speaking about 6 million euro plus one of bonus, that has already Juve experience, that knows the coach, that knows the environment at La Continassa? Can you find me for the same financial request of Marseille a better player? You can't. You can't. I'm waiting in the comments, but you can't. You just can't. It's impossible. So for that reason, I'm quite satisfied. Of course, it's not a name that is giving me a lot of excitement. It's not my dream player. I didn't even want him at Juve in the past. What was his season at Juve? 22-23. Really great. Overachieving in the first part. Then he had that small injury, taking him away for 1 month, and he never did really come back. So a Milik for that amount of money, I'm okay. I'm okay only if Juventus is able to bring me back other players, functional players, strong names that we will speak about in a second. But the other name that is exciting me a lot, it's not Sergei Milinkovic-Savic that you see in that double page, but it's Fabiano Parisi. Even more since yesterday, when I heard that he was a Juventino since a kid. But that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is that he's there, functional in a role that we need. The left back role. Young Italian player, not a huge salary. He wants to play for Juve, has technical ability, he's fast. Of course, he needs a bit of experience, but I see Fabiano Parisi being the starter of Juve as left back in a four-man defense, and that's really a name that I believe in. We are there. Empoli is asking between 12 and 15 million euro. Juventus wants to add Ranocchia, that we know would never have played at Juve with all the midfielders that we have today. Juventus is keen to loan him or maybe to sell him, to drop that price. At the moment, we don't have a date, but all of the journalists, the experts are saying he's that close. Maybe this week, maybe next week, Parisi can be the first new Juventus player. After Milik, that was the Juve player already, Parisi can be the new name. What about Sergei Milinkovic-Savic? Well, we already spoke about him. That's the third one of the list of the names that we were speaking about so much. Well, he can be the midfielder there, because Lotito is opening for the first time. 40 or 35 million euro, that's the starting request of Lotito. Let's see. I tell you, he's not anymore on the top priority of the names I want for the midfield, but I can't deny that having Sergei Milinkovic-Savic with a Rovella, with a Locatelli, with a Fagioli, with a Paul Pogba there in the midfield, well, they bring you quality, they bring you assist, they bring you physicality, they bring you goal, and that would absolutely not be bad. But what I want most of all is what Marchisio and Cabrini were saying this morning on Tuttosport and Gazzetta dello Sport. Cabrini, ex-Juve player, beautiful shirt by the way, he said, you are a Juve caliber only if you believe that you can win. And that's an important one, because at the moment the supporters, tifosi, they lost that belief. 90% of the tifosi, they lost that belief. They don't know when we will be back. They are not even sure that we will be back. Cabrini is saying, you are a Juve caliber only if you believe that you can win. Well, that's what I'm asking to the players, not to the supporters. Supporters, after 2-3 years of difficulties, they need to be convinced again. They need to believe again, but also seeing some facts that are telling them you can believe. But who needs to do it? Well, the management, with a not fantastic mercato in terms of name, but a smart, creative and functional mercato. The coach that after 2 really difficult years, because he didn't prove anything anymore, instead he destroyed everything that he built, he needs to show us that he can again win the belief of the supporters, but also the players. And the players that will join Juve on a meeting one-on-one, don't look only at the salary, don't look only at the market value, don't look only at the role, but also the personality. Do they believe? And that's a bit what Marchisio is saying as well. Casadei is ready for the Scudetto. They need a Juve that is hungry. Speaking about Casadei, Again, to me, I know that Juventus asked information, but I don't believe that Chelsea will loan him out or sell him. So I will forget a bit about Casadei at the moment. But he's saying about Hungary. Pogba knows that he needs to repay Juve. And he believes in Pogba. But Pogba will need to show us that we can believe again in him. Well, if Pogba is doing what he's doing now, so coming back earlier than the planned date, 10th of July, he will come on the 2nd of July. I see that he wants. I see that he's hungry. I see that he knows that he needs to repay the weight of all the supporters. Critical supporters or euphoric supporters, but anyway, he needs to pay back. And that's a beautiful start. And then he continues. They need to be hungry, and someone needs to transmit that hunger, like Antonio Conte did in 2011. Will Allegri be an Antonio Conte? No, that's a different kind of personality. But Allegri, he can start giving them the hunger, or at least telling them that this year we can't drop, we can't fail anymore, not even on day one. It's the birthday of Michel Platini, and if we are going from hunger to Pogba, that is a French player, today we have to speak about La France. Michel Platini, years ago, because he played 5 seasons at Juve and it's his birthday, he said something important. He said,
bisogna sempre migliorare, il Nancy perché era la mia città, Saint-Étienne perché era la migliore in Francia e Juventus perché è la migliore al mondo.
I played for Nancy, that is my club town, the club of my town where I am born. I played at Saint-Étienne, that is the biggest club in France, and I'm playing for Juve today, that is the biggest club in the world. Well, I want that belief again of supporters, understanding, being proud of Juventus. And that's why I always will admire Michel Platini. 5 years, 3 Ballon d'Ors while playing at Juventus. Michel Platini has won everything, but what a player. Happy birthday to Michel Platini. The bird. Do you remember the bird of two days ago? The bird, he came back. And by the way, I think I found the name. Let me know if you agree or not. But the bird, we are calling him Larry. Larry the bird. Larry. He came back and he told me something 2 days ago. A name. Kefren Thuram. Listen to the 30 seconds video. In a moment of difficulties, it may be opening their eyes a bit more than the Italian soul. Maybe thinking about another country, another young player that can give you something. And I was thinking maybe about Thuram, not Lilian Thuram, ex-Juve player, but maybe his son, the one that is playing at Nice. Kefren Thuram. What did I say? I told and I asked Juventus to start opening their eyes and stop focusing solely on the Italian soul, but also opening their eyes and monitoring some players like Kefren Thuram. What do we see today in Tuttosport? La Juve riparla francese. Juve is speaking French again. And Juventus has always been fantastic with French players. Deschamps, Zidane, Pogba, Vieira, Thuram, Michel Platini, Adrien Rabiot, Matuidi. So many big Juve French players. Without forgetting the best ever foreign player to play at Juve, David Trezeguet. There is a difference with the past and with today. In the past, we were going on the French market taking great, fantastic players. Zidane is one of these names coming from Bordeaux, for example. Matuidi from Paris Saint-Germain. But we were also taking players that were already confirmed, like Thuram, that was already playing in Italy. Vieira, playing at Arsenal. Well, today Juventus is not going for these first top players ready to be in the first team, but probably looking at players like the David Trezeguet, youth development in Ligue that can represent the future of Juve. 4 names are on the list of Juve if you are looking at Ligue. The first one is Weah, Timothy Weah, good player. I am not 100% convinced about him, but he's a player that can do something on Juve, especially if you are playing in that 3-5-2, that he can go up and down, up and down. Then you have Mikau Dadze, that is not French 100%, but he has half French citizenship and Georgian, playing with the Georgian team, coming from Metz, a player that I told you since day one, yes, that's the name. If you really need to replace Vlahovic, that's the name that we need. That's the player that I want. Ryan Cherki, my friends. That's a player that I love since years and years and years. It's a bit crazy, yes, but he can be a top name offensively to bring the creativity that Angel Di Maria is taking away and probably importing in Benfica, because apparently that's where he will sign. He is a top young player. I love Cherki. Ryan is fantastic. And then you see the one that I told you 2 days ago, Khéphren Thuram. Khéphren Thuram. Midfield, brain. He could be, I tell you, maybe even more than Milinkovic-Savic at the moment, the player that Juventus could need, that Allegri could potentially need. Then, can we sign the 4 of them? Forget about it. Can we sign 3 of them? Really difficult. 2 of them, maybe. But 1 of them, between especially Milinkovic-Savic, Thuram or Cherki, Juventus would do great. I'm happy that we are starting again to explore other markets. Stop giving money and too much money to players that in Italy they are over-evaluating. Anyway, I'm curious about that market, and that's why from today on I will also follow the under 21 Euro. I'm really curious about the stars of the future. Well, there will be big teams, also Italy with Miretti that will be there. I'm curious about Miretti. Scalvini is there with the under 21, so I'm really curious. I'm a bit sad that there is no Moiskin, but there will be Gnonto, another name linked to Juve, and also especially not only Italy but the other countries. Who is the next star? I'm curious, and I will observe it. Will the Ketelar score? We will see. Ragazzi, it's not over. I told you, long video today. Gazzetta dello Sport is not speaking about the dream of Ligue 1 players, but more about facts. Juve avanti tutti. Milik resta, Rijeko, Zaniolo. Milik is staying. We are going offensively now. Juventus is going on the offense, not only on the rolls, but also on the market. Milik stays. Zaniolo is back. Back on the front page, double page of Gazzetta dello Sport, with McKennie that could potentially go to Galatasaray, or maybe an Arthur on loan, or maybe whatever. We already spoke about it. Yesterday it was a video conference between Galatasaray and Juve. Not Keane. We spoke about Moiskin, but Keane will not go towards Galatasaray. But Zaniolo, it's time. It's time now or never. And on the other side, they are also speaking about Alexandro, more and more out of Juve. Maybe Saudi Arabia, maybe other clubs, but Alexandro is not part of the project. We finish with another one, another important, Leonardo Bonucci. Yesterday we spoke about him possibly opening to a goodbye to Juve. That's what Tuttosport spoke about. Then, in the middle of the day, there was a news reporting that there was a possible interest and offer from Marseille from our Italian captain. Well, towards the end of the day, towards the evening, Leonardo Bonucci is going out with a strange Instagram post with the Juve logo and with a dot right after it. Juventus punto. That can be interpreted in 2 ways. The ones that really wants Leonardo Bonucci out, probably they are going with Juventus. It's the end. It's the end of the story, the point, the final dot on the story. Juventus, ciao. And then you have the other story, the other interpretation that is telling us Juve punto. In Italian, Juve punto means also Juve punto e basta. Juve. It's Juventus and that's it. Nothing else matters. A bit like Metallica song. Nothing else matters. It's Juventus and end of the story. We will not speak about other clubs. I believe personally that that's what he was actually saying. It is Juventus. I will finish my last year with Juventus, like he said actually in that many documentary that we saw on YouTube. Last year of Juve, and then it will be over. Ragazzi, mamma mia, 19 or even 20 minutes of video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget, if you're still here, and that means a lot for me, because it means that you loved what I was telling you in the way I was telling you. So really, this time I'm not asking you anything, I'm telling you thank you. Grazie, forza, Juve.